Hello everybody. Today we're going to tell you about the life of Lucille Aitken. She was born in 1925, February 1, and she was born in Hamburg of Germany. This is the picture of Hamburg of Germany. She was raised as a Jewish, but she speak German at school and learned Polish at home. Her father's job is to import and export wine. From here, we can see that she is in the upper or higher level of the society. And all of her friends don't have financial problems. Her family has one maid and a nurse for children. At the beginning, she was a very good student. She always get A or A+ for her grade. But after the anti-Semitism, this is the picture of the anti-Semitism. And she can't go to school by herself. Why does this happen? Because the passerby will throw stone at her. And the Nazi, as Lucille remembered, the Nazi party began to be the state party at 1933, January 30th. And at that day, Lucille see many people marching uniformed on the street. And unfortunately, all her neighborhoods are Hitler supporters, so they stopped greeting them from that day. Her parents told her that this is just temporary, don't worry, and everything will be okay again. But day after days, many of her teachers, classmates were catched by the Nazis and never came back again. Many of them were thinking that, why can't they go to England or America, the safe place? And her father did offer her a job to go to England, but she chose to stay with her family. And it is the right choice, because the people who go to England and America didn't have a very good life after all. And after 1938, they've moved into a room that is completely furnished. 1933, November 9th, is the Crystal Night, as known as the Night of Broken Glasses. In this picture, these things on the floor is the broken glasses of these stores. As Lucille remembered, when she go back to home, she saw the brick signal is burning from inside to outside, and man's laughing. The German soldiers are laughing very loudly. She is very afraid. She thinks that it's abnormal for people to laugh because the building beside him or her is burning. After she ran home, she received a phone call that said men between 15 and 16 years old are arrested, and she was very, very frightened. And she had financial problems. All of her accounts were all of her and her family's accounts were frozen. And at that time, she thinks pride and honor aren't any more important, because if one don't have a good life or cannot survive, how can pride and honor do for her? In 1938, October, her father was arrested, and her mother applied for re-entry very hardly, and her father did come back. But in 1939, the May of 1939, unfortunately, her father was captured again. But they all think that her father will come back again. But what they receive is a box of ash, the ash of her father. It was all beyond her, because Jewish tradition is not a Jewish tradition to burn people's body after they were dead. In 1941, the February, they have to move into special house and buy special things at special stores. In 1941, the September, they have to wear the Stars of David. And And Lucas will tell you more about Lucille. Thank you.
I will continue with Lucille's life in Los Gatos and in Auschwitz, the most famous concentration camp. Life in Los Gatos was very hard. Her sister worked at a hat factory. Lucille first worked in 2 different offices, an evening kitchen and a leather factory. And she worked from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. She and her colleagues got a watery soup at noon as their salary, and they had to work 6 or 7 days a week. It was extremely cold, and the living condition was terrible. And they slept in big shared rooms, where 3 people had to share 1 cot. They had very little food, and ate what they had. And Lucille said there was no word to describe hunger. Now I'll talk about Los Gatos and Rankowski, the head of the ghetto. The ghetto was controlled by the Germans, and Rankowski followed orders from this guy, Himmler. Rankowski's motto was, "Our only way is work," and he also said, "If I can save 400 souls, it will have been worthwhile." Lucille thinks Rankowski is a child molester and a corrupt human being, and the administration of the ghetto was also completely corrupt. The police had to follow orders from Rankowski, but if they didn't, they would get into trouble themselves. About Auschwitz, 100,000 people went through the camp. The Nazi killed the old, the very young kids, and many women. The trip from the ghetto to Auschwitz was dehumanizing, and they were not treated like human beings. Lucille was in Auschwitz for a few weeks before she was shipped to slave labor in Neuengamme, Hamburg, which is in Germany. After Auschwitz, Lucille was among the women who were sent to Hamburg to clean up the bomb damage. It was heavy physical slave labor, and if one could not keep up with the work, she would be shot. Thank you, that's all for my part, and Jimmy will continue our presentation with some horrible pictures.
Hi everybody, I'm Jimmy. I'm going to tell you Lucy Green in the concentration camp life. And one day she was sent to the concentration camp by the boxcar. The boxcar is like a tram, but the people can sit in the train. They can just fall in the train. And when they get to the concentration camp, they saw all of the dead bodies is around the ground. And they can, all of the dead body is all caused by hunger and typhus. When she was there, she thought that she can live over a month and she will die. And the effect of the camp, when she was in the camp, she didn't do any labor. The Germans just laid them in the camp and stopped giving food for them. But someone is taking the gold teeth on the dead bodies. When she in the camp, she felt very lonely because there were no person is friend or from the same hometown. But she made some friendship in the camp by sending food for the sick people. And when she was sick, the people will send she some water or food for her. And one day noon, the British truck threw in the camp, and the British soldier told them their liberation. But it was too late. All of the people in the camp is so weak, they even can't walk. And the British armies give them some can of food. And thank you everybody, my class is over.
This is the picture when Lucille was afterward. And from this picture we can see that she's older but very happy. This is when the war haven't started yet. And this one is her sister Carol. Next picture is Lucille with her classmate at the school. And this is Lucille's father. Lucille's father was burned into ashes by the Nazis. And this is Lucille's mother, Stella. She applied for the re-entry for her father when her father was captured very hardly. And she did survive. She did success. This is her husband Dan. He and Lucille meet at a party when afterward and Lucille went to New York, and they are very happy. Thanks for listening. Lucille is still living now in New York, and she has a book about the World War II. And this is our presentation for Lucille. Now, maybe she will have more story. Thank you.